everybody, what is up? It is Berlin. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Hi, how are you doing? Happy Monday. Sorry I haven't uploaded for a couple of days, but I'm back now. I'm trying to kind of get an upload schedule going along with my full-time job off the internet, where I'm kind of busy with that. But I'm back now because we're going to talk about this whole thing with Will Smith and Chris Rock that happened at the Oscars last night. I went to sleep, woke up to this to find out that Will Smith had punched Chris Rock during his presenting at the Oscars last night, and everyone on the internet is talking about it, so we're going to get into it over here. So I first saw this clip this morning and I was like, damn, Will Smith really fucking punched him. He really bopped Chris Rock. And I was like, why did he punch him? What for? So I had a little read up on the internet about Jada Pinkett Smith and her alopecia, how she'd come out in like 2018, talked about having alopecia and how it made her feel and everything like that, you know, which, yeah, okay, you know, it's upsetting for Jada, of course. So Chris Rock made a joke saying, oh yeah, I can't wait for Jada Pinkett Smith in G.I. Jane 2. So Will Smith, at first, when I saw the clip of this, I thought that Will Smith was laughing along with the joke about Jada. Because if you looked at Will Smith in the audience, it cut to him, the cameras cut to him, and it really seemed like Will was actually laughing about this joke. So it looked like he was laughing. Then, like, it cut again, and Will was up on stage, bopping Chris Rock for that joke. Now, I've seen a lot of people speaking out on this, having a lot of opinions on social media. I've seen Nicki Minaj speaking out and saying, okay, well, Will was just defending his wife because he saw the pain in her eyes. You know, most people thought this was a harmless joke, but Will saw the pain in his wife's eyes, so he got up on stage and bopped Chris one. So that was Nicki Minaj's opinion, you know, oh, it was because Will saw the pain. Then you've got people like Ethan and Ela Klein speaking out about this. They're saying that they don't agree with it, you know. They don't agree that a man should have to defend his wife using physical violence. You know, people are also saying things like, if you use violence to defend your wife, then you probably use violence against your wife when you're in some kind of argument with her at home as well. I don't know about that. I really don't. I mean, at first when I saw the clip, I just thought it was funny, right? But then, after like sitting on it today while I was at work and stuff, I was like, well, yeah, okay. He used violence, you know, he used violence. At the end of the day, let's call it what it is. Will Smith used violence because he was angry at a comment that somebody said about his wife. And not just anybody, you know, Chris Rock, a comedian. This, for me, all over again, is like people getting mad at Dave Chappelle making a joke that they thought was transphobic. And then Dave Chappelle's friend, Daphne, tragically unaliving herself because of all the hate that she got from the trans community and other people saying, oh my God, you're being really harmful to the trans community by sticking with your friend Dave Chappelle and standing up for his jokes. So now people are coming for Will Smith for being violent, defending his wife, which, you know, like I say, this whole thing reminds me of Dave Chappelle and his Netflix special, The Closer, when people got mad at Dave's transphobic joke. It's a joke at the end of the day. Comedians tell jokes, you know. There's always going to be a butt of the joke with comedians, you know. I've mentioned before, probably like ages ago when I did my video about the Dave Chappelle special, you know, I mentioned going to see Bianca Del Rio live. I mean, look at me. I'm a joke, right? I'm a joke, yeah? Okay? So I mentioned going to see Bianca Del Rio and about how Bianca had told a kind of really tasteless joke on stage about rape. She was talking about one of the other Drag Race girls, one of the other Rue girls, Blair St. Clair, because Blair St. Clair opened up on RuPaul's Drag Race about having been raped. And Bianca Del Rio used that on stage in her comedy set, in her own stand-up show, and she made a joke of it. Oh, I've been raped! Like, mimicking Blair crying, you know, when she was talking on stage during her set, her comedy set, it was part of her joke, you know, and Blair was the butt of that joke. Blair's rape was the butt of that joke. So for Will Smith to get really, really mad about his wife's alopecia being the butt of a joke, yeah, okay, she has a disease and it's upsetting, but for Will Smith to get that angry that he's got up on stage and bopped somebody, I'm like, damn, that's not cool, you know. At the end of the day, when I was sitting there at this Bianca Del Rio show, me, you know, a survivor of SA, rape, all of that stuff, when I was sitting there and Bianca Del Rio told that rape joke, did I feel uncomfortable and offended? A tiny bit, maybe. But did I walk out of the theatre? No. Did I get up on stage and punch Bianca Del Rio because she told a joke that was something kind of offensive to me? No. At the end of the day, comedy is comedy. I paid to see a comedy show. You know, and Bianca Del Rio is an insult comic, much like Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock. These people are insult comics. That's how they make their bread and butter. You know, so I don't feel that you can really censor a comic, a comedian, when it comes to their jokes. You know, if Will was really that offended by it, he could have gone up to Chris quietly after the show and said, hey dude, maybe you want to take that joke about alopecia out, you know. Actually, I'm really offended about what you said because my wife has a disease. You know, he could have approached it completely differently. Will Smith didn't need to, you know, use violence and bop Chris one to get his point across. You know, he could have even brought it up in his acceptance speech. People are saying that as well now. He could have even brought it up in his acceptance speech and talked about it that way rather than like just resorting to violence. You know, at the end of the day, he did what he did. But people are speaking out about it. I've also seen Alexis Stone mention this as well, that she didn't think Will needed to use violence and that the Oscars shouldn't be about a display of violence. It should be about celebrating, you know, artists in the industry. It shouldn't be about violence. And I agree. You know, I do agree because, like I said just now, you know, there are so many other things that Will could have done if he was offended. He could have spoken to Chris after the show. He could have brought it up in his acceptance speech. So it's kind of like, you know, you don't need to have the opinion that, oh my God, yeah, Will Smith was just defending his wife because they were so offended. You know what I mean? You don't need to think of it like that. If somebody offends you, tells a joke that offends you, it's your responsibility to then choose how you react to that. You know what I mean? You choose how you react to it. You can choose to get violent, or you can choose to, you know, calm down and talk it out with the person so that you don't need to be violent. I don't know. Just my 2 cents. Anyway, aside from the whole thing with the Oscars and all of that, there was something else that popped up on social media that I wanted to mention in this video, which was James Charles and the whole Morphe thing. Now, Morphe in hot water right now. The New York Times just wrote an article about this. They wrote an article about Morphe working with a lot of problematic influencers such as Jaclyn Hill, James Charles, Jeffree Star. They put this article out and nobody was safe. No one was safe. If you haven't read the article, it's basically talking about how Morphe have kind of fallen off a little bit through working with influencers who've done nothing but getting scandals and, you know, kind of drag the brand's name down with it, and how the beauty community has now all moved over to TikTok, and about how consumers are now not influenced by big beauty YouTubers, but they're influenced by, you know, seeing a 60-second video or a short video on TikTok where people are demoing products. Like, think of the popular TikToker Michaela. You know, she's on there reviewing makeup and everything. And this article was talking about how, you know, James Charles is essentially a P word. You know, it talked about his scandal where he was admitting to sexting minors on his own YouTube channel and all of this, and how that made the brand Morphe look to its consumers. You know, when you've got somebody who does something serious and illegal like James has done, and then they're involved with a brand like Morphe, which are a global brand, you know, they've got stores all over the place. When you've got somebody like James Charles involved with a brand like Morphe, it makes the brand image look really, really bad. if he's involved in a big scandal like sexting minors. Now, Jacqueline Hill as well has had her scandals. You know, not that they've been involving minors or doing anything illegal like James Charles has. So for me, when I look at this whole thing, I read this whole article, you know, and it was interesting, talking about how people are no longer influenced by big beauty YouTubers, how the beauty space has changed. Well, I'm like, girl, James Charles has not changed. That is one thing in the beauty space that has really not changed, is James Charles. Because James Charles is currently posting pictures on his social media that are a bit like thirst traps, you know. And this is James. James, somebody who's been in trouble for sexting 16-year-olds, 14-year-olds, minors, children, teens, you know. It's illegal. Where he is in California, that is illegal. So James has been in trouble for that. Nothing happened to him on his YouTube platform. He's still on YouTube, uploading weekly, doing these little challenge videos, makeup videos, all this kind of stuff. So he's still uploading, still collaborating with people. And he put up these posts which are like thirst traps. And then the other night he put this one which was like, oh, I can't sleep, what shall I do? With a kind of face that you'd make as if you were trying to flirt or something. And for me, this is all getting a little bit creepy with James Charles. You know, I don't think he's ever going to learn. I don't think he's ever going to change. I think that James Charles, this is who he really is. You know, I don't think he wants to learn from his previous scandals. I don't think he wants to change. You know, I think that with James Charles, this is what we're going to get. James Charles is just that girl, you know, is just that person. And back on the topic of Morphe, another thing that we've seen recently is Lipstick Nick, who was the global director of artistry, I believe, for Morphe. She actually left the brand. She's parted ways with Morphe. And from her post on it, it all seemed quite amicable. But isn't it funny how Morphe is now not working with James Charles, not working with Jeffree Star. They're still working with Jacqueline Hill, because I think that Jacqueline Hill, you know, having Jacqueline Cosmetics, which is part of the Former Brands group, owned by Morphe, or Former Brands own Morphe now, rather. Jacqueline is still tied up with Morphe, you know, because of her own Jacqueline Cosmetics brand. So Jacqueline is going to be staying with them, I think, for the foreseeable kind of future. But Jeffree Star, James Charles, no longer working with Morphe. Laura Lee, Manny Rouet, no, I don't think they're any longer working with Morphe either. So all these big influencers are no longer working with Morphe. The article in the New York Times actually said, oh, well, these people are irrelevant and that's why they're not working with Morphe anymore. Morphe's not working with them. Morphe's moved on to TikTokers like Charli D'Amelio. It's moved on to people like Maddie Ziegler, you know, who was in the dancing, you know, what was it, the Dance Moms. You know, they've moved on to other people, celebrities. They've moved on to doing things like Disney collaborations, Coca-Cola collaborations. They don't fuck with big beauty influencers anymore because they've realised that big beauty influencers don't have that kind of selling power that they once had. The bubble has kind of burst, shall we say, with big beauty influencers. People aren't watching beauty YouTube videos like they used to anymore. And it's all changed. You know what I mean? So let me know what you think about all this drama, and I will see you on my next video. I'm going to say take care, stay safe, stay well. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching and supporting my little channel. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.